Hello and welcome to my US Grand Prix driver predictions, the series in which you guys, the audience, can get involved. By following that link in the top line of the description, you'll be asked 3 sets of questions, which we'll briefly go over in a little moment's time, to be entered into the Audience Prediction Championships. And with the season almost at a close, let us delve on in to my US Grand Prix driver predictions for qualifying, a bold statement for the entire weekend, and of course the race as well. So how exactly does this series work? By following that link in the top line of the description, you'll be asked for your top 5 for qualifying, your top 5 for the race, and one bold encompassing statement that can relate to practice, qualifying, the race, or all of it as a whole. Now, just a few rules regarding this. You can make as many submissions to this link as you like. I'll be releasing this video on Thursday. I'm currently recording it on Tuesday before any of the weekend's action begins. But you can make these predictions all the way up until the start of Q1 on Saturday. If you want to be as accurate as possible for these predictions, then wait until after FP3, but before the start of Q1. Equally, for the top 5 in qualifying, ignore any penalties. Each of these top 5s are taken pre-penalty. So if, for example, Lewis Hamilton has a 10-place grid penalty and he qualifies on pole, if you have him as P1 in your top 5, that will score you the points, not where he starts. And equally, if they have a 5-second time penalty during the race which allows them to drop positions, then it will be taken pre that 5-second time penalty. Now, there is a small little point scoring system for this to work out who is going to be the best predictor. You will receive 2 points for a driver in the correct position inside your top 5 for qualifying, and 1 point if you have the driver in the top 5 but not in the correct position. Exactly the same for the top 5 for the race, and then 5 bonus points will be given if your bold statement is remotely accurate, for a total points for the weekend of 25 for an extremely accurate prediction. And the closest someone has got this year is 21 or maybe 22, I can't quite remember, but no one yet has achieved a full house of 25 out of 25. Could you guys be the first? Now, just briefly taking a quick look at the current leaderboard, it is Evan Darcy who is 23 points clear of Joe Bischow and Arturo Salazar on 182. Then you have myself, Elliot, and also Hal joint on 165 after a numerous set of predictions that have been piss poor from myself, and then Min Verstappen is just 2 points behind that. Several people joined the 100-point club just recently. That's Divot Rayhan, Libra 777 and Mattia Binotto. Leroy, you are so close to the 100-point club, with the second half of this leaderboard looking a bit like this for the people who have not entered into every single round of this season so far. And we do have 129 unique individual entries into this series, which is absolutely awesome, with the second half of the leaderboard looking like this for people that have only made 1 to 2 entries into the series so far. Not to worry if you see your name super low down on this list. That doesn't mean you are a bad predictor. It just means you simply haven't entered into every single round of this season. However, to counter that fact, I've created an average points for the entries that you have made leaderboard. However, that won't be posted here. That will be posted in my race review that comes out on Sunday evening. So with the rules and exactly how this works all done and dusted, make sure to follow that link in the top line of the description. We will now get involved into my predictions to what I think is going to happen for this US GP. And we start with my qualifying top 5. For pole position, I've gone for Lewis Hamilton. I feel like it is an absolute given pretty much at this track. This is Lewis Hamilton's backyard. He loves this circuit. I think he's won every single race apart from 2 since 2012 when this track came back to the calendar. And with Mercedes' recent pace gains in straight line speed especially, I feel like that is going to be an enormous benefit to them, especially over Red Bull. And for P2 in qualifying, I've gone for Valtteri Bottas. He has had an exceptional turn in pace in the last couple of races. In the last 4, he has scored the most points of anybody, and like I said again, with that pace gain that Mercedes have made, he is going to be easily up there to end this season really strongly. And again, he also went on to win this race in 2019 in quite a dominant fashion. Then for P3, I've gone for Max Verstappen, as he is easily just a cut above the rest of everybody else, extracting everything he possibly can from that Red Bull that he has been given this year. With P4, I've gone for Lando Norris. Again, that Mercedes engine is going to be punching above its weight at this circuit, and Lando Norris is equally driving the wheels off of that car that he has been given, especially compared to Daniel Ricciardo, who hasn't quite turned into it just yet. But Lando Norris, I've gone for P4, and P5, Sergio Perez, who has equally had a small little upturn in performance, exactly like Valtteri Bottas had in the past couple of races. And from my top 5 in qualifying, that leads me quite nicely into the top 5 for the race, where for victory, I've gone for Lewis Hamilton once again, and I do believe it's going to be as close to lights to flag, if not just a couple of laps in the pit stop phase, as you could want. And P2, I've gone for Max Verstappen. I just feel that the Red Bull strategy might just outperform P3 man of Valtteri Bottas. Even with the pace gain that Mercedes has made, I just feel that the race pace of Max Verstappen and Red Bull could just be that little bit better than Valtteri Bottas, especially for Max Verstappen's drive to fight for this title to the very end of the season. And P4, I've gone for Sergio Perez over Lando Norris, because again, I just think that Red Bull has that little bit better race pace and racecraft over Lando Norris and his McLaren. Ultimately, I'm not predicting fireworks for this Grand Prix. I don't really think anything too major is going to happen. We had a fairly boring Turkish Grand Prix, so it's potentially we could have another boring race on our hands for this US Grand Prix. But equally, I wouldn't be surprised if it is another hectic race. And then from my top 5 in the race, we head on into my bold statement, is that Aston Martin will score with both cars. They will end up with a double points finish. Now, Aston Martin is sadly one of those teams that has taken our big downward step with that minor regulation change from 2020 to 2021. They've ended up at being the pinnacle of the midfield, to not even in the midfield, to struggling to score points in races. However, I feel this track might just suit them. And again, like I said, with that Mercedes engine, the Phase 4 engine, which isn't quite performing as well as they would like, but sort of punching above their weight down that big back straight, I feel that they could easily outperform some of the midfield cars to come away with a double points finish. And there we go, there are my predictions all done and dusted for this weekend's US Grand Prix. Remember to follow that link in the top line of the description to submit yours. You can submit as many times as you like right up until the start of Q1. Any submissions that are made after Q1, I will not be accepting and I will remove them from the database. Again, I might just also link the database in the description down below so you can check on what you have submitted and also what everybody else is submitting as well. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next episode with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.